All right, well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Digium Live. My name is Brian Ferguson, and I'm your host. And today we are very excited to have Randy and Kurt from Dauphin Electric. And Dauphin Electric is one of our very best reseller partners based out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So welcome, Randy and Kurt.
Hey, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, guys. So I guess the first thing, why don't you tell us a little bit about your company, Dauphin Electric, what you guys do, and what kind of customers you support?
Yeah, sure. Dauphin Electric is a local distributor of electrical, lighting, and data products located, as you had mentioned, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They've been around since 1901. The actual data division that Randy and I work for is actually called Dauphin DataCom. They've been around since 1986, and our expertise is primarily all the physical layer of networking, installing switches, routers, voice over IP systems, wireless, data center cooling solutions, and things of that nature. So.
All right, great. And how long have you guys been selling Digium products?
Sure. We became a Digium partner, I believe it's now about almost 4 years ago, and we haven't looked back. We really like the product a lot. The feedback from our customers has been excellent. And we're having a lot of fun selling your product, actually. So it's been a good fit.
Okay, great. So let's kind of talk about a buyer's process. So when you guys get an idea of a customer that needs a phone system, what are typically some of the reasons that they're looking? What are some of the challenges they're trying to overcome?
Sure. A lot of it also, moving away from legacy systems is a part of it, and knowing what else is out there in the world of voice over IP or unified communications. Trying to put a system in place that is going to offer them productivity enhancements as well as better communication throughout their establishment. Cost is a big thing that we're seeing today in a lot of our public sector accounts. Schools with the tight budgets and other public entities, they just don't have that recurring income or tax monies, if you will, to be able to afford all the ongoing costs with some of these more expensive systems. So it's very appealing, not only the strong feature set that Digium allows, but also the ongoing cost is a lot lower than a lot of the competitors, actually the majority of the competitors.
Okay. So are there, from a features perspective, what are some of the features that you see that people are really looking for? Are you seeing mobility out there, collaboration, those kind of things?
We do in private sector. There's definitely that. We do play in multiple verticals, so they're always different. So the public sector, they like the ability to have the voicemail to email integration. They like the 4 or 5 digit dialing between all their buildings. So that's an enhancement many times to many of their legacy systems. They're not so much interested in the switchboard piece. However, on the sales companies that we deal with or private sector, that's really a big benefit for those customers.
Right. Okay. So I know every company is different, but is there kind of a typical evaluation process that you see for a lot of these companies that you guys get involved at different places? Do they like to see demos? What do you kind of recommend for a company that's going to be evaluating a system?
Well, and that's a great point. We always try to recommend doing a demo. When we're able to do that, then customers can really see what it is they're going to manage on a day-to-day basis, or what it is feature set that they're going to be able to use on a day-to-day basis. And it really does help show the differences between a Digium solution and any of the competitors. So yes, as part of our needs analysis, if you will, on the front end, naturally we make certain that their network is going to be capable to support a voice over IP system. That's a huge part of it. But more importantly, it's getting the customer to be able to see the ease of use, the fact that it has so much features and benefits built into the system inherently, and it doesn't take them an arm and a leg financially or staff-wise to be able to maintain the system. So.
Yeah, that's important. You mentioned needs analysis. What kind of questions do you typically ask somebody who's looking for a new phone system? What are you trying to discover?
Sure. We want to know who it is within the organization is going to be the one managing the system. So many times a lot of people wear many different hats within these organizations. Of course, we'd like to know what the cabling infrastructure looks like, the switch infrastructure. But we also then want to make certain that it is a fit for the end user, that they're going to because there's so many options within the Digium family, whether they wish to do the hosted solution, the on-prem, or possibly a hybrid. So there we need to kind of marry up the solution with the end user's requirements, and that's basically all done in the needs analysis.
Yeah. So okay. So you've done the needs analysis. You have an idea of what they're looking for. What about Switchvox that is typically a fit, and what makes it stand out?
Again, without sounding repetitive, I would say there's a very strong feature set within the system itself, but people really, really like the intuitiveness of the system, the ability to be able to do all their own moves, adds, and changes. They when they actually use it, they are almost taken aback by how easy the system is, how open it is. So if they do have another SIP endpoint they wish to bring on the system, they know full well they're not being locked into a proprietary system. They can go ahead and put anyone else's phone if they wish, although with the quality of the Digium phones, we've found most people do really end up buying the Digium phones, but they know they can put a Polycom phone or a Grandstream or a Yealink, whatever.
Right.
We're also seeing customers have interest in using it to tie in intercom systems. So other than just the traditional analog tie-in of an intercom system in a school, they can also use just PoE speakers and be able to bring it live as a SIP extension, which is pretty cool.
Sure. So how about, you mentioned cost savings earlier. Where do customers see those cost savings? Is it in their monthly phone bill, recurring revenue? Where do that cost savings come from?
Sure. Primarily for our customers, it's been in their SmartNet, if you will, their ongoing maintenance fees that other traditional VoIP players charge, and coming in and the way that Digium does it, refreshing that renewal every 2 years as opposed to every single year. The price point that it comes in at is far less than any traditional VoIP player. Let alone a legacy PBX, so they see great savings in that. But then there's also a lot of the soft costs that's a little bit more difficult for them to capture. How long does it take for them to have to do a break fix at a handset? Are we talking 2 hours to troubleshoot a handset issue, or is it in Digium's world? It's a quick 15 minutes to be able to go ahead and resolve some of the minor issues that may take them a whole lot longer in a legacy system. So there's a lot of different, of course, there's also the telco being able to provide SIP connectivity into the system with the SIP trunk, which is huge as opposed to some of the traditional lines. So there's a multiple facets for cost savings.
Okay, good. So let's talk about the deployment side. So what kind of typical challenges do you see when deploying just voice over IP systems in general, and what can customers do to get ready to have a system of their own?
Sure. The big thing, again, is making sure that the network has a clean bill of health. That's ultimately the first and major scenario we have to make sure that is taken into account. It's also the scheduling of the system. So a lot of times, if we're able to bring the Digium solution in parallel to what it is they're using existing, that's a nice, smoother, more of a laid-back ability to bring a building by building onto the Digium solution without having to have the stress of an all-in-one hot cut, if you will, to the new system.
Right.
So, a lot of our schools, the challenges are trying to get this Digium solution installed over a summer time where they're doing all their other projects. So, but that's a whole different issue. But strategically and logistically, bringing live a Digium system for us, I mean, my engineers have basically said, look, this is just such an easy system. Just this is where we want to live. We really love the fact that it goes in so much smoother than other systems we've sold in the past. So it really does shorten the amount of time to bring the system live compared to others.
Okay. Are there any considerations for a customer's network that you would recommend to be a little more prepared than what they are today?
Well, definitely. I think a good majority of customers have upgraded networks to the point where they are managed. However, we're finding some of these customers may have legacy switches that are 7, 8, 10 years old. So definitely, we would want to have them look at those switches, and especially when it comes to the PoE models that they have today. if they're utilizing other technologies on those PoE switches, such as IP cameras, other devices that might require a PoE, we want to make certain we're going to have enough power to be able to provide connectivity to our phones. So bandwidth, again, with most of our customers having gigabit on the backbone for the most part, is not so much of an issue, at least on the LAN or their if they're connected via fiber.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely making certain that they have managed switches and that their switches or PoE is a big plus.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Well, Kurt and Randy, I definitely appreciate the time and information that you've given today. I think it's fantastic. I think a lot of people will be able to use it when they're ready to get a new phone system. If you guys are interested in talking to Randy or Kurt from Dauphin Electric and you're in the Pennsylvania area, the area of their support, just give us a call and we'll get you connected to those guys. But thank you guys very much for attending today.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you for reviewing this episode of Digium Live, and we'll see you the next time.